Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. And we give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yehawada with the lesson.
How dare y'all? I've been in here for 7 years, and now all of a sudden we care enough about people who own Social Security and poor folks with circuit breakers and pink taxes and everything else, when we've had ample opportunity to pass this year after year after year after year, but only until it's attached to something that's going to work for rich folks do we care enough about this. Gross. And then have the audacity to say, oh, if you don't like this, you don't care. Y'all are too strong. No, I don't care about the folks who got to go and buy votes. And you can put that on Facebook. I don't have any of those in my district. No one's sitting at any marble tables over in the 73rd talking about capital gains tax. They are talking about these eggs. They are talking about how they have to use the emergency room for their primary care physician. They do talk about that. They do talk about rolling toilet paper around their drawers because they can't afford tampons and pads. They do talk about that. Yeah, that's me sitting on the side gallery crocheting baby boots and socks. When you look at my MEC report, it's me clearing out my campaign donations to go drive Meals on Wheels every Monday. That's what they're talking about in my neck of the woods. I have to borrow money to pay my taxes to sign that affidavit when we file for office so that I can run for office and not be lying on it. I have to borrow money for them fancy gold plates we have. So I don't know what a capital gains is about. I don't know that feeling. But I do know what it feels like when your stomach touch your back. That's what they talk about in my district in North St. Louis County, where their representative has to stand on this floor till her feet get raw. We talk about that. So I do appreciate the fact that it's 111 of you that are going to finally give my grandmother, my 84 and 3-day-old grandmother, the opportunity to get a break on her circuit breaker. Thank you. The same 84-year-old who had to work and get paid under the table for taxes. Well, she cleaned white folks' houses. They called her Mary, and she called them by Mr. and Miss. Those are the people I have in my district. I don't have the people who sit up and concern themselves with what boat they get to buy this year and what vacation they get to go on this year. They make bologna sandwiches and fold the bread in half so that they can feed their grandkids when they come from school because they can't afford child care. Those are the conversations we have in my district. So for all the monopoly men on the other side of campus twirling their rich mustaches and top hats talking about capital gains vacations and what their constituents talk about at their table, I love to be invited for some so I can cosplay wealth. I can't even swim, as you all probably have guessed, by my skin color. I don't care nothing about no boat. Just pass the bill and stop trying to act like it's us over here when it's been you all the whole time.
Yeah, this is Psalms 72 and 7. Psalm 70, chapter 72, verse 7. It says their eyes stand out with fatness, right? Because they're always seeking a way to get rich, right? So basically, like this, sister, pretty much, she was saying that all of a sudden the poor people matter only because they're tagging their getting rich onto this bill that's supposed to so-called help poor people, but they're only looking at it, their eyes are only set privily upon it only because it's going to help them. They're going to get rich, so that their eyes stand out with fatness. So it's only looking to get rich, right? They have more than heart could wish, right? right? And all the things that you in your mind, you could think of all the things that you've always wanted. They already have more than enough, right? But they always got to seek more, right? Especially it coming from the poor, because ultimately that's the way you get rich, right? The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right? They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression, right? And that's the thing that they do to you. They oppress you, put you in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations. And at one time you were in hardcore chattel slavery, they're fine with it, right? Even now. No, they don't got you in so-called chains, but they got you right where they need you. Like this sister, she said she spent 7 years, so she had a chance to see it firsthand. But a lot of people still don't know what she's talking about. Like she said, if you go down to North St. Louis, and she brings up these things, a lot of people are dumbfounded. They don't know what this is, because they talk legalese. You know, the same words that you use in English and in legal terms, they mean something different. That's why they're not concerned, right? Yeah, they speak. That's why they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, right? Because they know something you don't know. They know they finna get rich. Oh yeah, let's attach this thing unto the poor people, and let's say this is if you don't agree with this, then you don't care about poor people, right? Kind of like Biden said, if you don't, you ain't black if you don't vote for him. It was all really to fill his pockets, right? And Lord willing, it's a true thing that he got cancer, right? Lord willing, the Lord judging him, and he actually has cancer, and this is not another hoax, right? Like him faking like he was senile and stuff, right? It's all smoke and mirrors, man. But they don't care. They're about to rob. They can speak loftily concerning your oppression, man, right? Yeah. So this is Psalms 10, verse 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion, right? And so this, of course, is dealing with their police force, their task force, their drug enforcement, DA, right, force, right? But it's also dealing with them, how they write different laws and things to put you in a position to be prey, right? Which they're passing this thing with this Starlink surveillance that's basically gonna put you under constant surveillance under AI, which is gonna make you a prey, right? Bringing their AI, their robots, their different things to make you a prey, right? They're gonna say that it's for peace and safety, as the scriptures tell you. Hey, then sudden destruction, right? These are the things that these devils have always done. They talk to you peacefully, make treaties, this and that, and just when you let your guards down, that's when they come in and attack, right? It says in his den, a lion in his den, secretly as a lion in his den, he lieth in wait to crouch. He lie in wait to catch the poor, to catch the poor, and then ultimately that's what they're doing. They're passing little bills, certain this and that. They're attaching their money making scheme to the poor, which means they're going to rob the poor so they can get richer. So, indeed, they're going to catch the poor, because a lot of you don't know what's going on in the Congress. You don't know about bills, section, article, this, that. There's a lot we don't know about these things. The stock market, this, that. There's a lot of things we don't know. They didn't teach us those things, because we're simple people. It tells you that Jacob was a simple man who dwelled in the tent. We're just simple people. We don't want to hurt nobody. We don't want to deal with all these different things. We just want to live in peace. But putting us in the ghettos, with harsh conditions, right? People lash out, and a lot of times you're gonna lash out on the people that's, of course, closest to you. So of course, the so-called black on black crime, right, which is also part of the curse. You should, who was tender and delicate to his brother, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. His eyes shall be evil towards his wife, right? These are conditions of the curse, right? Of the curses, right? Yeah, and then a lot of time, what poor also meaning you don't know. A lot of times, um, you're lacking knowledge, poor in understanding. It might not be your money, but you're poor in understanding. It's a lot of stuff you don't understand. You don't understand that you're the Israelites. You don't understand your power. You don't know your own original language, right? You just know the madness that they taught you. So you're poor in those things, right? Where he draweth him into a net, see, and they put you in a trap, right? Whether a financial trap, whether putting you in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, so they can entrap you, right? That's what they say. What they call it? Drug house, called a trap house, right? A net is basically a snare. It's a trap. You set it down, you lay it across, you put leaves and things like that, so it looks like the normal ground. A person walks on it, and they get grabbed up, and it's a trap, and that's all they ever do. And that's how the rich keep getting richer and the poor get poor, because they make money when you die, they make money when you're born, they make money in between off of you, right? Because there's a lot you don't know. You're poor in morals, poor in understanding, right? Because you don't know the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so you're stuck. You're in you're in like a Mizraim, a rock in a hard place. You're in the valley of the shadow of death, right? You're in Egypt again, right? You're in the house of bondage all over again. He croucheth and humbled himself. See, and there's a things where they do. This is what they're doing. Oh well, there's this bill, and we'll attach this bill to this thing, and we'll make it look like we're humbling ourselves. We'll make it look like, oh yeah, we care about the poor. See, this is now you can get the whatever medicine you need, whatever I don't know, whatever was it shots and stuff that you need for your insulin and whatever, just trying to think of some things, real quick. Now we're gonna attach, so we're gonna make it look like we're there to help you, but like the sister was saying, they're finna get wealthy. They about to get rich, right? So he croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones, right? By the laws and the things that they're passing. And see, because what is Jake gonna do? Because it's a lot you don't know. So when you get the lashing out, people are gonna put things in such a low condition. People are gonna either start trying to rob banks. They're gonna do some smash and grabs, just trying to survive, right? But what did they do? That puts you in a place where now his strong ones can come. The police, the military. Hey, CIA. They might have this. You know what I'm saying? MI6 and Black Ops. They're gonna have all sorts of They're gonna have all sorts of things, man. It's literally a war. But your thing as being Jacob, a plain man dwelling in tents, you don't understand that you're at war, like literally, right? And he have said in his heart, right? God has forgotten. See, and that's where in his mind he say, look, God forgot about these people. He ain't concerned about them. Look at them. They're out there doped out, strung out, right? Nobody cares about them. So let's pass these laws. Let's say that the police have these immunities, and let's try to get this thing going. Turn this back in time. Turn this back to 1953, right? That's what Trump was trying to do in his first term, when they were locking the doors at these Waffle Houses and not letting anybody brown go in, especially if you were black. right? But see, you so-called Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Native Americans, you're going to find out that they don't like you either. You're going to find out the hard way. But, hey, it is what it is, man. He hideth his face. He will never see it, right? So thank God. And which God is a God that hide himself, right? He is a power that hides himself, which that's what Apostle Gabar always goes through that, right? And to a lot of you Jakes, he has hidden himself, right? A lot of you Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, the Lord has hidden himself because what? The prophets have been out there, what, like I said, about 18, 19 years on YouTube. So surely this word has gone out into all the world. And then the Lord even raised up famous people, even though it was under some shuck and jive type thing. It was some famous people, and it was for you to look into it. It was for you to inquire and dig and dig and dig. The Lord wanted to try. That was like a way of the Lord trying your heart. Right? Right? So it says, arise, O Yahweh, O power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble, right? So the ones who truly did have the mind to hey, wait a minute, there's something, there got to be something up with this. Because why are these people, and then why did these people come in and shut down Kendrick Lamar from talking about it? He only mentioned being in Israel one time and never again. Kanye mentions it, and all of a sudden you make him seem crazy. Now all of a sudden he's Mr. Blow Pop on his cousin. You just thought so all these years you doing, and then all of a sudden you come out with this. Yeah, it's crazy. You know. Trying to you got to discredit these people because there's something to this. There has to be some facts to that. You're the Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. But hey, the Lord, he tried your heart. He threw it out there. See if you were actually humble, right? See if you were really going to consider with a sincere heart. He said, "Arise, O Yahweh, O power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble." See, those who really truly is out to seek the Lord, man. Wherefore doeth the wicked contendeth the power, right? They come against the power. They come against the poor, right? They know you're the Israelites, whether you know or accept it or believe it or not. They know who you are, and they're coming to attack you through legislation, through their military, right? All sorts of things, right? Through their AI system, through the Karagma, through their money system, their financial system. They're going to crash this financial system down and bring in the digital system, which is going to be the biometrics, which is going to be implanted in your body, which is going to make them your God. Since you don't have a God, since you don't want to believe in God, they said that, and God forgot about you. They said, "Hey, we'll be your God." and he have said in his heart, thus will not require it, right? See, so he think he could do all these things, put the micro C hip in you, and the Lord ain't gonna require judgment to him because hey, you're stupid enough not to inquire who the Most High is. They're poor, they're stupid, they're unashamed, and the rape, rob, and murder that they do to their own people. Why should we care? Right? Yeah, we taught that to them, but we're gonna hey, the Most High must don't care about them. He ain't gonna require it, so we're gonna put more pressure on him and then see what happens. Nothing ain't happened to us. We're still living good. We're still living rich. Hey, why shouldn't we speak lofty concerning your oppression? We're winning, right? Ain't nothing came back to us, and then you're still too stupid to follow your power. Okay, well let's keep winning because the Lord ain't gonna require it. Let's go ahead and push the Karagma, right? It says that thus has seen it. For thus behold its mischief and spite to require to requite it with thy hand, and the poor committeth himself unto thee, right? Which are those who are humble. The poor of the Lord's people who committed themselves unto him are the ones who were humble, who were meek, who actually sought out to seek the Lord, right? Thus are the helper of the fatherless. See, so we're the ones in the ghettos and the barrios and the reservation who are at single mothers' homes. We're the fatherless, and even if you did have a actual father, the father and mother, a lot of times your dad had to work a lot of times just to make sure that he was able to afford everything. So you didn't spend much time with your dad. But if you really got into this, the scriptures, the Lord allowed to open up a way that he can raise you up as a man. That way you show you a way that you can gird up your loins, starting with your mind, right? Towards righteousness, towards being a man. Looking at it says, break thus the arm of the wicked, right? See, and that's what the Lord is about to do, man. Only for the elect's sake. And to the evil men that seek out his wickedness, and seek out his wickedness till thus have found none, right? To destroy this man and wipe out all wickedness until there's nothing but righteousness upon the earth. And that's what the Lord is about to get ready to do. But first and foremost, hey, look, you don't know who you are. You don't know what's going on, right? And they're gonna continue to push this agenda. Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. See, they're writing these different laws, but the Lord said he is going to judge them, right? Judgment is going to come, right? You know, they think the Lord doesn't see it. He's not going to require it. But the fact of the matter is he is going to require it. But really for the elect's sake, well, really just because for his own name's sake, truly. But the Lord is looking well to the goings of the elect, so to speak, you know. It says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, right? And write grievousness which they have prescribed. And that's the different laws, the different things, trying to attach it to a bill so they can make more money. And really, they're going to rob the poor. They're attaching it to that thing, saying that they're going to allow for poor people to finally get the medical aid and this and that they need. But that's about the same as the Jewish over there in Gaza, saying that they're going to give them humanitarian aid, and then people shipped in food and things, but they won't let them drive it over to them. So there's tons of food, and it's not even that far, but it might as well be 1,000 miles away because they won't allow it in. And that's what these guys are going to do. They're going to attach it to this bill, but it might as well be 1,000 miles away or 1,000,000 miles away because you're never really going to see it. If you do see it, it's only going to be few and far in between to see it, so they can say, see, we told you there were going to be people who got it. And then they're going to put these people on camera. And so I got my aid, so to speak, or whatever. I've been waiting for my heart transplant, and I got my heart transplant. Or I've been waiting for what is it? They had the little motor things so people can move around. And say, yeah, I finally got my little motor run. I'm able to go places and not just be cooped up in the house. Thanks, government. Thanks, Esau. You know, sound like a commercial, you know. And those are going to be those to show face, basically, you know, smoke and mirrors. But meanwhile, the rest of that money is going into their pockets. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment. See, and that's ultimately that's their MO, man. Their MO is to turn aside the needy from correct judgment. Right? We built this country off of slave labor for free. Surely we should have something. Should be able to give us some land that you're not taxing. Right? You can give us land and housing and things, something that you're not taxing, and let us live. But you're not going to do that because you're the devil. Right? And it has to fulfill prophecy because we have to see you push the Karama. Because according to Revelation 13, This is the thing that has to come upon the whole earth in order for the second coming of our Lord. So this has to, listen, we encourage you to do it, bro, right? Because we need the Lord to come. So, but at the same time, we need you to do what you're doing so we can show our people as we read this, and they turn aside the needy from judgment. See, so for correct judgment, now they can send you to Guantanamo Bay. They just sent 7 so-called what they called terrorists or domestic terrorists or whatever they want to call it. They just sent them over to somewhere in Africa or somewhere. I forgot what place it was, but they sent them from America to somewhere else. So now it's lawful for them to take you, even as an American citizen, and send you to a foreign country as a criminal without due process, without a trial. See, under America, you always have to have a trial before your peers. Without due process, that's not a trial before your peers. So they're trying to escape that whole entire thing, right? Send you out as an American citizen and then bring in these so-called self-proclaimed white people whose part was part of apartheid and conquering people in their land and taking over and not giving them a due process and things of their own land and paying them back. Now they have a cry. Now it's reverse racism. Well, you conquered and murdered a people, took over their land, and now that they decide to come back up, now it's reverse racism, right? But that's how they are. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor, see, of my people, that the widows may be their prey. Yeah, see, and a lot of you women are stupid, man. You stuck on white Jesus, man. Right? When that person never existed, and a white man ain't never gonna show you love, right? You said you think he do because he come crouching, he humbles himself. But a lot of you so-called black women, you Hispanic women, you Native American women, you're gonna find out that Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, is not your friend, right? You're gonna find out he's not your friend. Then that the widow may be their prey, and see that's what he's gonna do. He's going to devour you women, right? The majority of the 2/3 are women, and that they may rob the fatherless, man, right? Keep you from inheriting wealth, keep you from being able to have a decent life. Now now all of a sudden after they polluted the whole entire world, whales are beaching themselves over in San Francisco, whales and sea lions and birds are exploding in Texas. Now all these things. Now they want to save the environment, so they say, and they want to put it to where you have a carbon footprint. So you can only go somewhere while they still fly their private jets, but you can only go 15 minutes away from everywhere you go, because they're trying to save the world, right? While they still ride their jets and their big boats and their big trucks and all these other different things, right? Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. It says, Why trimmeth thus thy way to seek love? So it's a lot of you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, men and women, right? But mostly you so-called black women, you Hispanic women, you Native American women, you really love the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? And there's some men too. They little bootlickers and stuff. They be trying to follow the way. But you women go overboard with trying to seek love from the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? The system it's definitely going to fail you, right? You're gonna get a rude awakening, right? It says, therefore has thus also taught the wicked ones thy ways. So you taught them, oh yeah, we go in there and we write extra children that's not ours in our taxes, and so this is how we survive. So then they went ahead and changed the way that they do the taxes, So now that extra money we would have been getting, instead of you shutting that hell up, we're not getting that no more. That was the way we were getting by, right? They're wondering how in the hell these people, we keep trying to
push them into further, but somehow they keep coming. And then you tell them how we survive. You tell them our little secrets, ways how we get by. Well, we do a little bit of this and we do this and and they finna cut all that off. Ain't gonna be no getting paid underneath the table anymore, like the sister said. They finna cut that off. Why? That's why they coming out with the digital ID, right? Which is gonna be attached to your digital wallet, which eventually it's not just gonna be in your cell phone and an app. It's gonna be within you, right? It's gonna be in you and the app, maybe, right? Because that way you can look at your account, right? You'll be able to, go somewhere and swipe your hand and then look at your account to see what you have left, right? Of your social, what they said, universal basic income that they plan on giving you, right? Because they're about to have the computers take over every job that's out. No one's going to have a job, right? Either you're going to be dead. That's what they're hoping. A lot of you be dead, and then who's left is just going to get the universal basic income, and you ain't going to be able to go anywhere. You're going to have a social and carbon credit score, and that's what you're going to go by. But see, a lot of you fall right into that, right? Because you taught the wicked ones your ways and how we get by, how we do these. So they're going to cut all these ways off, man. So that way, and they're going to call it transparency, so they'll be able to see and calculate everywhere you in real time. They'll know wherever you're at, know what you spend, what you buy, and what you do in real time for transparency, for your safety, right? And this is the thing. This is where they're going. And also, in thy skirts is found blood, right? So a lot of you, like I said, putting you in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, putting you in such low conditions, you end up lashing out at each other. You're fighting over the scraps, right? But sin is sin. You murdering your fellow so-called black person or so-called Hispanic person doesn't mean it's not sin. So the Lord is going to require it of you. He's going to judge you, right? So the souls of the poor, innocents. Yeah, the soul of the poor, innocent, have not found it by secret, right? So this is not a secret thing that everybody knows. That's why they bring up Chicago. What about Chicago? What about how you'll kill each other in Chicago? What about in LA and New Orleans and St. Louis? Where's she at? Where they kill each other every day. Blood is upon you. You're killing the poor yourself. So it's not like the Lord ain't going to judge you for that. Judgment's coming for you too. But these are the way that the Lord is going to allow the enemy to come in after you. Right? Because you taught the wicked ones your way. You love them. Right? You trimmed your way to seek for love from your enemy. It said, and I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these, yet thus saith, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me. So you think, oh man, it ain't our fault. I'm innocent. I had to do what I had to do. No, it's still sin. And the Father of spirits is still going to judge you. You still did what's wrong. Just like these Edomites. He think that the Lord ain't paying attention. And, the Lord do hide it himself. But the Lord is going to also reveal himself too. Right? So yet, thus saith, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall not turn. His anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead. See, the Lord said, no. I am coming to judge. Behold, right, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I will plead, which means judge with thee, because thus has said, I have not sinned. See, so you think, hey, I'm in the ghettos, the volume, the red man. This is just survival, bro. It ain't my fault. I'm innocent. I'm just a man that's trying. Hey, listen, it's still sin. The Lord is coming to judge you, and a lot of ways the Lord's going to do that by is by Esau. Now, he have you killing each other in the hood every day, too. Those are judgments. But the ultimate judgment is letting Esau come down with great wrath, knowing he got but a short time. And then after that, the famine, the death, the pestilence, and then the ultimate cherry on the top is to send those missiles to wipe you ill degenerates out, man. Right along with this entire system, right? It says, why Gadits thus about? Why Gadits thus about so much to change thy way? Thus also shall be ashamed of Egypt, right? Which that's America. America is basically spiritually Egypt, the place of our bondage. So you're going to be ashamed of this place, as thus was ashamed of Assyria, right? Which this place is also known as Assyria too, right? Because it's where the northern kingdom came after leaving Assyria, and this is where they came. And the next you know, they was holding up the practices and things of Assyria here, which allowed the white man to come and conquer this whole place, right? Yea, thus shall go forth from him, and thy hands upon thy head, for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, have rejected thy confidence, and thus shall not prosper in them. See, and what does that mean? You're going to go upon your head. You're going to go into these concentration camps, right? And this time, it was the Lord was saying you're going to go into slavery, but this time you're going into concentration camps. You're going to go into re-education camps, right? You're going to go with your hands upon your head, right? Getting arrested, getting beat, getting mauled by all sorts of animals, and all sorts of things are going to happen. See, because you think if you just love the so-called white man, you're going to but the Lord said you're not going to prosper in that thing. Trying to lean upon Egypt, lean upon this place, right? Yeah. So this is Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. It says, "Hear the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, ye children of Israel," right? Which you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, Yasha Allah, right? It's who you are. You're the true children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or Yaquab, right? You know. So, but the whole thing is, a lot of you are just, you don't want to take heed to the true power, and a lot of you are degenerates, For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. So really, you're a people before a place, right? So the Lord has a controversy with you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? Because there is no truth, and this is why. Because you don't know the truth. You don't know the truth of the Bible. You don't know the truth of who you are. You don't know you're an Israelite. You believe in plantation Christianity, right? There's plenty of people, whether if it's your brother, your cousin, someone, and the truth is out there. You don't even got to be there. It's been out there for 18 years, probably going on 19 years. It's been on the internet, which pretty soon, with this thing Charles Schwab is talking about, basically it's going to have some type of virus or something's going to be in the computer system, and they're going to have to be able to go in and get the virus out of the computer system. It's going to be like the CV19 for computers, right, so to speak. And they're going to shut it off, and then when it comes back on, most likely we won't be able to upload any videos anymore, and that's going to be the famine of the word. So, hey, and being that the Lord, it have Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakadash have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, which are you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and your Israelite foreigners, right? Just because you look like another nation, maybe you may not or may know that you're an Israelite or not. It doesn't negate that the Lord's going to have a controversy with you. Doesn't negate that the Lord is going to judge you. He said, "Lord said, I'm going to plead with you," which means judge. So don't mean that the Lord ain't going to judge you, right? Because there is no truth, because you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going, you don't know anything about anything, right? And you're just not upholding righteousness, man. You're not upholding truth, nor mercy, right? You're not showing mercy towards one another. You're not treating your fellow so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian as you would treat yourself, right? And if you hate yourself, then there's something you need to do to fix yourself, that you can love yourself, that you can love your brother, right? nor knowledge of the power. See, and ultimately that's what it comes down to, the knowledge of the power of the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in the land. So wherever you're at, the Lord said that we're supposed to meditate on his words night and day. Right? And that's a commandment. And all you Israelites are commanded to do that. Right? So the Lord is going to judge you because you're not doing that. Whether you accept it or believe it or not, it doesn't matter. You could say you're was agnostic or whatever it is. You could say you're Muslim. But the fact of the matter is, you're an Israelite and the Lord is going to require it of you, bro. Or sister. The Lord is going to judge you. Right? You know what I'm saying? By swearing and lying and killing and stealing. And what's all going through America and really all over the world. Right? This is what you Jakes like to do. You Israelites love to do these things. I swear, nigga, that's on my mama, I swear. And that's on the dead homies. Right? You swearing. Right? And ultimately, swear goes back into oath too. You make an oath to your Sigma Phi Sigma and your colleges, or you making an oath to your gang, right? But you ain't making a true oath to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You make an oath to America, right? Joining their military, their police force, all these other different things. You make an oath to that thing, but not having the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's going to be required. He got a controversy. Hey man, the Lord is coming to judge. It says, and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery. And that's what you Jakes love that. They break out and blood toucheth blood. Hey man, you in the club dancing, this and that, now all of a sudden it's fighting, get to shooting in the club. And all sorts of things happen, man. You Jakes constantly fight against each other. But see, Esau's going to use that against you. But the Lord is going to allow him to use that against him in order to put him the Lord's putting you in the trick bag through Esau, so Esau can judge you. But the Lord ultimately has a trick bag for Esau so he can get judged. Right? It's called killing two birds with one stone. That's what the Lord is about to do. And that stone is Yahushai, man. Right? That great millstone, Yahushai, is going to kill it all with one stone. Right? Right? Therefore shall they lay the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish. Right? And that's what's coming, man. The great famine is about to come, and all of you about to languish. Famine of the word and famine of actual of bread and water. The people have been warning about there's insufficient amounts of water, but you see people going around every day like that has not been said, that California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico is all in a drought and there's not enough water. But what you Jake's doing is you're still going out there every day fighting and shooting and killing each other. Even with all that's going on, even though these celebrities and things, even though it was all BS, they showed you, they said something about Israelites and you know, you were supposed to inquire, right? With the beast of the field, and that's what the Lord said. A lot of you are going to be like dung upon. It's going to be so many people dead. It's not going to be time to bury you. You're going to be like dung upon the ground, and the wild beasts are going to eat your flesh off the ground, off the middle of the streets, right? It tells you that the beasts, what is it? It says the beasts shall change their places, right? The beasts are going to come into the city. They're going to be eating you people, right? With the beast of the field and the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. See, and your livelihood, right, and the way that you're able to eat and things like that is going to be taken away, right? Yeah, so 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 7, and the Sodomitish sea, which that sea meaning people, that's this place, America. America's Sodomitish shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, right? So these things is about to get, you know, it's about to be dark, right? Which many have not known. So it's going to be a time that's not known, a time that's never been before, right? A time like none other. Nobody's ever known this time, right here, right? But they shall all hear the voice thereof, and you're going to know that this is the time that the Lord spoke of judgment. You're going to remember right? You're going to hear the voice. You're going to hear all these different noises and different things, and people are going to be getting killed and slaughtered. And you're going to remember that the prophets had spoke these things. You're going to remember, oh, dang, this is just like the Bible. Man, this is... So there shall be a confusion, right? Which that's America, Babylon the Great. A great confusion shall be a confusion also of many places, right? That's here in America, right? All over America is going to be confusion. I mean, other places in the world too, but this main place is America, Babylon the Great. And the fire shall be often sent out again, right? So you got the Gov who got these direct energy weapons that's burning up the forests and all this other stuff, saying that the forest and it had to burn, and oh my God, it was like the act of God, and something happened, and somehow they whatever happened, and allegedly that there's a direct energy weapon that can burn everything except for the color blue, allegedly, right? And in that process, what the wild beasts shall change their places. See, and they live in the forest, they live out in the thing, and they're gonna change places out into the cities, right? They're gonna look for food. It's gonna be a famine, not just for the people. By them burning up the forest and stuff, it's gonna make a famine for the wild beast. So you're gonna be in famine, and the wild beasts are gonna be in famine. So what's gonna happen, right? The wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrous women shall bring forth monsters. So you got all these little badass kids that's out there killing each other, doing all sorts of things. You got a little 10-year-old with a Glock 17 ready to shoot you with it, with a switch on it, right? So this shows you the time that you're living in, right? Right. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10. Said, "Let us oppress the poor." Right. And this is going into the mindset of the Edomite, the self-proclaimed so-called white man. That's their mentality. Let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow. Right? So they're not thinking about you so-called black women, so-called Hispanic women, so-called Native American women. They don't care. Let us even also not even spare the women. And you're noticing that's actually starting to happen now more often. Because back in the day, they used to, you come up and they do it, and they'll ma'am, step aside. We just, here, we'll just grab the men. But now, hey, they're blasting women in the face for saying Jivas, right? Saying I rebuke you in the name of Jivas. Right? Shot her in the face. All right? Things are happening to these women now. All right? So they're not even sparing you women, right? Nor reverence the ancient gray hair of the age. See, so now they about to go all out. They're gonna be madmen sparing none, right? They're not caring if you're a woman, they're not caring if you're old, and they probably damn sure ain't finna care if you're a baby, if you're a kid, right? So they're saying they coming to time, and that's what Trump just said. He's willing to give them immunity, right? So they're not about to spare anything. Let our strength be the law of justice. So now that's what he's doing. He's writing them in the Congress. Executive orders, executive order, executive order, executive order, right? Making the law his strength, right? For that which is feeble, even if it's a little baby or old person, right? Is found to be nothing worth. Hey, you're worthless to them. Oh, man. So they saying, hey, you so-called black Hispanic, you're worthless. You're found to be worthless to them. And they already said you're useless eaters. You're just goyim. You're useless eaters. You're just their cattle. They're in rulership. They're ruling over you. This the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, the Rothschilds, man. They rule over you. They're your masters. And their masters see it fit that you're nothing worth. Let the law be your strength, and hey, we don't give a damn about them. Because they already said it. The worst thing concerning Israel is the black Americans. Well, you're already getting bombed by Hamas, right? How's the worst thing to you is black Americans way over here, thousands and thousands and thousands of miles in a big ass ocean away from you, and we ain't never even been to Palestine or Israel. So how are we the worst thing to you? Why? Because we're speaking this truth, right? So now they ain't finna spare madmen sparing none, man, right? You found nothing worth. Wow. It says, wherefore let us lie in wait for the righteous. See, going back into what we read in Psalms, they're gonna lie in wait like a lion, right? For the poor righteous man. They're gonna lie in wait for you and pounce upon you as a lion and eat you up and devour you. Let's pray. Whether it's for through their laws, through the conditions that they put you in, right? And now they got this black fatigue after they rape, rob, and murder you, put you in such a low condition, which they understand that, right? Because they've done the science behind it, where they took rats and deprived them of food, and the rats killed each other, ate each other. They went into cannibalism, which that's about to happen again, right? Then they took them and then fed them food. These rats were courteous and considerate of each other, not walking over each other, not doing these different things because they were fed the right way. And they know that. Even the elephant, like I was saying before, I always bring this up. When I learned that, because I was a kid when I learned this, I was like in high school, and they had took a young bull elephant away from the father, and when he grew up, he was killing the other elephants because he didn't have a male role model. That thing is this is in animals, so that thing is they know it's highly important to have a male in the household, right? But they're going to use that against you after they did all these things, and now all these little young minstrous monsters that the woman bring forth that's out there killing each other because they didn't have a father, right? They're going to use that against you, right? Because he is not for our turn, see? And so we, as the hopeful elect, we are not for their turn, right? We're not for their rulership. Their rulership brings forth death. Whales are beaching themselves. You got exploding birds. I mean, hey, just when you thought you heard it all, right? Look it up. It's, in Texas, they're talking about birds are exploding for no reason, you know? Oh, man. He's not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doing, right? Because you're wicked, man. Esau, Edom, you're absolutely, completely wicked, right? So yes, we're contrary to you, right? You know, water and oil don't mix. We're not to be in the same vicinity of each other, but you won't ever leave us alone. You always have to find out where we're at, or even Jake has to go where you're at. You know, you move, you know, out of your neighborhood. Jake try to create wealth and then move out to where but this is a thing that's gonna have to come, right? Raise up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. These are things it's gonna happen, man. But yeah, it says he is clean contrary to our doing. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, the Most High's law, right? Saying two men can be married, right? That's clean contrary to what the Most High say could be done. So yes, we upbraided them, man. We tell them where they're going off at, man, right? And ultimately, that's going to bring one hell of a judgment, because what the Lord said that he did the thing with Sodom and Gomorrah for an example to those afterwards shall live ungodly. If you live in that manner, he's going to destroy it in that same manner. So we're telling you, this place is going to be burnt up, right? Without a sign of life ever had exist there. So that's why the Lord's going to allow these hypersonic missiles to hit this place, even when you got your so-called golden dome, if you could even get it up, right? If the Lord even allowed you to but I hope he does, just so they could create different weapons, find new and interesting ways to destroy this place, man. You know? It says an objective to our infamy, right? Because they're famous, but not in the right way. They're famous of being wicked, man. says the transgressions of our education, right? And they don't. What is their education? Lies, right? George Washington is the first president. No, there were 7 other presidents, and they were all black, right? Before George Washington was president of the United States, right? They don't want to tell you that the founding, not just the founding, the foundation was built by the foundation, and the founding fathers were actually so-called black men of this country. It wasn't white men. They stole everything from you, right? But give you no credit. But you're nothing worth. It says you're found to be nothing worth, man. And hey, listen, they give two. They don't give a damn about you, for real, right? So with all that, I'm gonna give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the 4 winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akhwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And the Bible ball, Kwam Yasharallah.